Is that recording? Oh, there's a red dot. Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah,
Welcome to The Downside. My name is Gianmarco Soresi.
Hey.
What an exciting day. We have guest co-host.
Wow.
You've heard his voice before.
Mm-hmm.
Not because you subscribe to the Patreon.
Nope.
Only 10 of you maybe. But this is the singer, the creator of the Downside theme song.
I did the song.
I know the song. I sing along
I did the
to
song.
it.
Yeah.
Wait, before you sing it from memory.
Downside.
Bow, bow, bow. Yeah, downside.
Yeah, that's it's not a long song.
No, it's not.
So I'm glad you knew the words. Welcome, co-host Douglas Goodhart.
Thank you. I'm so happy. Applause? Is there like an applause button? No.
No.
No. I'm so happy to be here. I'm kind of trying to figure out who I want to be while I'm on this pod. In terms of like, I'm usually kind of sunny. I'm like a sunny person.
Sunny, but with a dark underbelly.
Sure. I think I'm going to try to tap into that. I'm not happy right now.
Really?
Yeah, well, my knee hurts.
What happened to your knee?
I have fucking arthritis in my knee. I'm 38 years old, and I have arthritis in my knee. I'm my mother. I am my mother, officially.
You are the oldest member of Uncle Function.
I am. With a bullet. By a couple of years. So, like, when I'm holding props on the subway, it's worse coming from me.
Sure.
What is that old man doing?
Younger sketch people are helping you out.
Because you're on the subway with props and,
Props?
Clown. Yeah, for our sketch show.
And we're here.
Like clown, you look like a clown and you're 38.
Well, our guest went to college for musical theater, so she knows something about being a clown.
We all
Acting.
did.
We all did.
We all
You
went
did
to musical.
too?
Yeah. I went to the best musical theater school.
Which one's the best one?
Better than yours, I mean. The Boston Conservatory.
Boston Conservatory is
it
a little bit
better?
better. Yeah,
No,
slightly better.
No. They're all fine.
Than the University of Miami?
Well, yeah.
Well, let's bring out our guest. I'm so excited to have her. I mean, I haven't seen you since college, right? Did we see each other in between those two things?
Yeah, we did.
Where did we see each other?
New York. I came to your apartment.
What?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, not alone.
Which one was this? Was this when I was in Soho?
I don't remember.
What did we do? Did we just hang?
Yeah, we just had.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. We were friends.
Yeah.
He has
this
no
has
memory.
to
He
have
has
been-
no memory of it.
This has
Not
to
a
have
single
been
moment.
2011 or 2012. So I don't remember anything from that time.
2014, probably.
Okay, I was close.
Is there something that happened to you that like makes you block out everything?
Everything from my
that?
college, I did block out.
Really?
Tremendously.
Yeah.
But Konnie
Hello.
Metaxa? How do you say it?
Metaxa.
Metaxa. But what's the real name? Because I saw it online.
Kostadina Pagozidi.
Great. And
Wow.
and
That was your full name? That was your first and last that you just
Yes.
said? Cosadina. Oh, cool.
thank God.
That was amazing.
You tell us a downside about Greece to kick off Douglas's beautiful voice.
About Greece?
Like a downside about Greece.
Can
What
I
sucks
just say
about
a
Greece?
downside about LA? Because
Sure.
I was just there.
LA, please.
Please do
LA
it.
sucks. Super overrated.
Super overrated.
This is the downside.
I really agree.
Could you turn on the AC?
Yeah, I
You're
think
listening to
No,
The
I turned it off.
Downside
Yeah, that was my mistake.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Douglas has gone to turn the AC. It was my fault. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
That's great. We'll talk about you in a second. But I did want to bring up a story that happened to me. I've started taking kind of a CrossFit class again.
Wow.
Light.
Because you stopped because of your hernia.
I got a hernia. I did a single rep deadlift. Suddenly my abs seized up, and there was like a little a bauble, like a little something in my belly button. And the person said, "Oh, that's probably like I got an ultrasound like for a baby," and they said, "Oh no, that's just like a fatty tissue or just like a weird bump." And
That
I was
doesn't
like,
make it
I was like,
better.
okay. And then one night I was like, fidgeting with it, and it popped back into my stomach.
Yes.
And I said, "That's a hernia." And basically for a while, I could feel it go in and out, in and out. So the thing that caused that to happen, I'm doing again. And
Why?
but I just, it's close, it's convenient. I'm not doing like single rep. But it's barbells. It feels good. You feel strong.
He likes to curse too when he works out. One time I was privy to like one of his private workouts, and it was like, oh fuck!
It was very.
It was lots of cursing.
We did like when COVID was ravaging the country. We took a vacation. No,
We quarantined.
We quarantined. We did like 4 months in. We did like a quarantine pod, and they saw me work out. I was doing Zoom workouts, and Douglas
In
was
here?
No, we went to Vermont.
We went to
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Vermont?
No, it was New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Jesus
And we were in
Christ.
like a closed older community, and he's screaming obscenities like with
Just like fuck.
yeah, with like sexual yeah.
Sexual?
Very.
That sounded sexual.
Absolutely. Just like, oh,
Fuck. I'm gonna come. One more burpee. I'm gonna come. One more burpee. So I'm doing this. So we do it. You do a name game in the beginning, I think, to make sure no one has like CTE or anything. And they had everyone go around, and they had people say their name, what they did for work, and their favorite kind of cake. And so,
Their favorite kind of cake?
yeah, that was just like the game. You just do a thing.
Yeah.
And I got to this woman, and she was like, my name's Lacey or whatever. I'm an accountant, and my favorite cake is tequila. And the class went fucking wild.
oh yeah, it
She
really
was getting
killed.
an
It
applause break in
killed.
the middle of CrossFit. And I started having this panic attack because I was like, I can't think of a funnier answer. I don't know what to say.
Well, what's your favorite cake?
It's red velvet, but that's not funny.
Yeah.
That's normal. And I was like thinking, I was like, pancake, beefcake. I thought like fruit cake, and I said that's homophobic. And I had no idea what to do, and I just said red velvet like a schmuck.
Yeah.
And everyone probably was like, "You're the comedian." The accountant was funnier than you, and it's just one of those moments where you go like, maybe this isn't for me.
Have you ever lied about what you do so that you don't have to talk about it, or so that there's
Like
no
I should have
pressure?
said like, my name's Gianmarco. I was a first responder on 9/11. Red velvet.
Yeah.
And then I got a big applause break.
Any cake as long as it's shaped like an American flag. I'm sorry that they put you through that. That's
Yeah. That's just being a comedian. You're humbled constantly because you're not always the funniest in the room. Sometimes it's an accountant.
yeah.
So that was my downside. But let's talk about you, Konnie.
Yeah, let's shift the focus.
But I gotta say, like, I gotta preface this with a couple things about like how I knew Konnie. Konnie is 2 grades below me.
2, yeah.
So-
or 3. No, 2.
2. Don't age me. We went to college, and Konnie was just like a musical theater student. A little bit of a party gal.
A little bit.
Party gal.
okay.
There was
My whole class was like
your
the
class was
party
wild.
class.
Your
Yeah.
class, and they were close. My class, we don't speak to each other anymore. None of us are friends.
I'm actually here for Baldwin's wedding. Do you remember him?
That's insane. That's insane. I can think of 2 people from our class who would invite me to their wedding, and the rest would have guards, making sure I don't get into the free food.
Not
It's
a
very
lot of
sad.
people
I'm
like
so
you.
sorry.
What was that?
Not a lot of people like you.
No, not at all. Not at all. But you do, and that's what matters. But you did. I said before. You said I could talk about anything. There was a stomach pump incident
First year, yeah.
first year.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
What-
So you went
I can't
hard.
believe you remember that. Okay, no.
Oh, we all remember it. It's probably the biggest story at school. I
Are you
remember being in the
serious?
lunchroom, someone being like, "Connie got her stomach pumped last night."
Oh my god.
Well, I don't remember it.
Oh well, sure,
Obviously,
sure. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I blacked out. So what happened was that The Hangover had just come out,
Great.
and
Great.
my class was
Say
very,
no more. We understand.
My class was very tight, and it was weird for me because I had just come from Greece. This was my first year. I had never been to the United States before.
Okay.
And in Greece, I mean, people go out with their children and drink.
Yeah.
So
How do they get? Do they have a drink, but do they get drunk with their children?
no, but like it's normal if you go out for dinner to have a glass of wine.
Is there a legal age though in Greece?
Yeah, but nobody cares about
Nobody
it.
cares.
But what is the
Okay,
age
okay.
though?
18.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you were at a restaurant, you could order it for your 14-year-old, and they wouldn't bat an eye.
Well, yeah, if you get a wine for the table, they
Yeah.
just pour a glass of wine and
Great.
you have some, and my dad would be like, try this one, this is very good,
Yeah.
And some
So-
people say that actually prevents people from binge drinking later in life.
That's what I was
let's-
gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
That's
let's
what I
hear
was
the
gonna say.
story.
Well, this is what happened. I was used to just having a glass of wine.
Sure.
So it was really weird and frustrating for me that I had to get carded, or, people were like, let's pregame. I didn't understand the concept of
Yeah.
pregaming because I would just be drinking when I was out. But then people said, let's pregame because we can't drink when we go out. I was like, wait, that's weird. So we have to drink everything we're going to be drinking tonight within this hour before we go out. That's wild.
That is wild.
Because I had never, you get lightheaded and drunk if you're drinking throughout the night, but if you're going to drink everything within 1 hour, you're going to get fucked.
Yeah, you weren't ready for like American college, like alcoholism culture.
Save money and like that. I mean, that's part of the pre-gaming, is right? Is so you don't have to spend so much money.
Yeah.
And also because we were young, so we were going to go out, but we wouldn't be able to get drinks out there.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
But
I remember there was a rumor when we were in college that like if you had a fake ID, you'd go to jail for 2 years. That's what they were like really pushing.
I remember
and
that.
looking back, part of it's like, no fucking chance.
No
but maybe.
chance.
Did you have a fake ID?
No, but I was in a party. I had a fake ID when I was in New York. I went to a camp when I was 14 years old. I got a fake ID from Hawaii, like classic, like McLovin. Like,
wow.
It was before Superbad, but that's what it looked like. And I remember I memorized it all. I was ready to go. I went to a liquor store, 14, bought a jug of the cheapest vodka I could, gallon of vodka, and they didn't ask for anything. I paid right up front. They didn't give a shit.
That
and I
always
was
happens.
like, wow, New York is just different. Because where I grew up in Maryland, cops were busting parties.
Really?
I had one party. I had a beer. All of a sudden they said the cops are coming. It was like a cul-de-sac. They blocked off the cul-de-sac.
Oh
so
my
kids
God.
were running into the bushes, running. The cop gave me a breathalyzer. He said this. He said, "Did you have anything to drink?" I said, "No." He gave me a breathalyzer. He said, "What did you have to drink?" I said, "Nothing." And he said, "You're free to go." And I was like, "Fuck,
he tried to really
lie.
get you.
Always lie to the cops.
Wow.
Always lie to the cops. That's the slogan for the downside.
But that's like, that's a thing about like, you know, small town cops that have nothing else to do but bust young people. I grew up in New York, and so no one cared. No one cared about anything. The first fake ID I got was I was 16. I got a fake ID that said I was 18, so I could get into one of those clubs where they played music and like you could be 18.
Wholesome.
Yeah. But like we'd smoke pot in the basement. Actually, around here, it was around here.
People ask me all the time for shows, for comedy shows. They say, "Do you know if the club card is?" Because I'm 19.
Yeah.
And I always feel like legally, I never say like, you could probably sneak in. They probably won't check. I'm always like, sorry. 2 years from now, I hope you're still a fan. And they're like, probably not.
Well, you should find clubs that do that thing where they mark an X on your hand, and
Sure.
you know I feel like that's doable.
I don't really have a lot of control with the clubs. They come in and I say, thank you so much.
Someday, wait. So when, and did you get your stomach pumped?
Okay, so we watched The Hangover, and then we said, let's do Blackeration Op-Out, which is Operation Blackout.
Oh my God!
It's all the proof you need that brains don't fully form until a certain age.
Yeah. And so we went into a room, one of our rooms, I don't remember whose it was, and we decided to film the whole thing and write down how many shots we were taking. So we weren't even doing this with drinks. Like, our goal was to black out and to film it. So all of the friends went into this tiny room. Like, the room was probably this big, right? And Hecht.
Yeah.
Did you live in Hecht?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than this, but pretty fucking small.
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
were like 10 people in there. Filmed the whole thing. But of course, I wasn't used to drinking like that. So I remember like this one point where Baldwin, actually, I remember like straddling him and like trying to be, and then just like throwing up. And
Do you throw up onto him?
I don't even remember. I just remember like trying to be sexy, and then like nothing ever happened. But I don't even know why I wanted to do that with Baldwin, and then I just like threw up, and I don't know where. But and then I have no memory. I woke up. I had never gotten a hangover before because I wasn't drinking like that. So I remember waking up in a dark room, trying to eat pretzels, and my mouth was so dry because obviously when you're too hungover, you can't eat anything. And I was like, what is this feeling? I don't want to have this ever again. I'm never drinking again. And obviously I had never said that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got my stomach pumped. I don't remember it. Woke up with an IV in my hand.
Oh, you woke up at the hospital?
No, in this room. The hospital came to the room.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
They're like, we can't move. She's not going to make it.
Oh my
She's not going
God.
to make
Yeah.
it to the
I
hospital.
gotta be honest. Sounds like you won Operation Blackout.
Blackeration
Op-Out.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
totally won.
Yeah.
I don't have that video anymore because my laptop died, but yeah.
Oh my God.
It
Now,
was disgusting.
did the teachers like sit you down and say like, we need to talk about, like, was there any kind of repercussions with Miami or the musical theater?
Yeah, I got like written up. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember.
So if something like that happened, like if they found cigarettes or like
Yeah.
if you did something, if you had a hot plate in your room, like you get written up, and then, or if like they find you drunk or find something in your room, and then if you get written up 3 times, something happened. But
It's gotta be tough to be just work at a college and be like, oh, they're gonna drink.
Yeah,
Just to have 18-year-olds at a college be like, oh, they're gonna drink.
Totally.
So I knew you in college, and there was always like, oh, Connie's dad is famous.
Really?
And it was like, well, yeah, people knew that something was going on. Or that you had money. I'm just saying, like, from the outside, like, it was like, what is this? Something there. But then there was like, well, how famous could he be if she's at the University of Miami with us? And that's a question I've never gotten to the bottom of. But I always knew this. And then, like, once we graduated, I saw from afar, I was like, a lot of Instagram followers, and then photo shoots every day, and then the weddings and the papers, and then you were on
the weddings and the papers.
The weddings and the papers. And then, well, Hannah Berner, who we had on, I remember, like, I didn't know. I remember finding out
Greek
about
too.
What?
She's Greek too.
Hannah Berner?
No, sorry. I thought you were talking about the.
About Gus.
Yeah.
Gus. But Hannah Berner, she's a reality star, and it was just like I found out about her marriage from Page 6, and I'm like, wow. And then I had Gus Constantelis. He was a guest a couple weeks ago. He's Greek, born in America though. And when I said your last name, he said, "Oh my God." He started singing your dad's songs.
I listened to the podcast. He didn't sing any songs.
I lied. You're right. but I said, how famous is he? And he said Sting. Is that a fair comparison, or is there someone more accurate?
That's fair. I mean, not really, because it's like Greek, not traditional music, but it's Greek music, which isn't really pop or rock. It's just like Greek music. So he's just like one of the biggest star for Greek music.
Yeah.
He's been singing since the 80s, so
I went through a lot of his stuff.
You did?
Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
Well, so I love Brazilian music. And in Brazil, there's like a national songbook of songs that everyone knows. Is Greece the same way? Where like there's like songs that everybody knows. Like if he were to play a song, they'd be like, oh, and they'd be singing it in the bar. Yeah.
That's why it's Greek music, because all Greek people will hear it eventually.
Yeah. Wow.
But I didn't know that people were like talking about that. That seems so weird.
Well, you just said he's the biggest.
Well, nobody knows that in America.
I know, but I think it was just like I don't know. I think we were all like curious about like how famous is this guy? Or just why are you taking voice and speech 301 tremoring on the floor? Why don't you have your dad fucking put you as his opening act?
I did that after.
I know.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's good. There was an article recently, Idris Elba, he did a movie with a daughter, and his daughter auditioned to play it, and he said the chemistry wasn't right, and she didn't get cast.
Oh.
And he said, and then he told people about it, that his daughter didn't speak to him for 3 weeks.
I can't.
Part of me was like, I understand you're not casting your daughter in the high budget movie. I don't understand you telling the papers about her auditioning for it.
Yeah, he wants like a badge of honor for having like not let his daughter have a head start, which she can get a head start. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I understand not putting it in your movie because maybe she sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I understand making the introduction, but being like, well, sweetheart.
But he said the chemistry wasn't right. He didn't say she's bad.
You're right. He did like use the word chemistry.
Did he actually?
That's kind of code.
No, I think he said chemistry. Yeah,
that might be code though.
He wasn't like
right
I would have cast her, but she's like a little too much. So you're a teenager. Were you like a party teenager? I mean, were you a mess? Were you a child star mess famous person?
Listen, I had to raise myself basically. So my mom was a child, so I had to raise my mom as well because she's afraid of everything, and she wasn't a very good mom when I was growing up either. But my dad was not there. My mom was a child, so I had to make sure that everything that was around me I was aware of. So I had to know what time I should get home. I had to make sure that I wouldn't like get abducted or kidnapped, and or raped.
Sure.
Just like things of life. I had to learn them myself. So I think I was a party girl, but I wasn't really like, I never crossed the line.
Yeah.
Because I was always taking care of myself.
Are you an
only
only
child?
child?
This is really depressing. This is the
This is
downside.
the downside.
Come on. Are you an only child?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
So at least there was the foresight of like, okay, we're only having one. Because some famous people, they set up like franchises. They set up families all over the place. He could have a lot of other kids.
You don't have half siblings.
He might. I don't know.
You don't have any half siblings.
No.
So your dad, After you, he's like, condoms.
Well, I was a mistake.
He's like, hey, Trojans, that's our thing. So when did you think, oh, I want to be a performer too?
Oh, very early.
And did you ask your dad, hey, you owe me, set this up? Because if I had a shitty dad, I mean, this is what I did essentially with, finances to a degree. There's a degree of like, hey, you suck. Give me some money.
Yeah.
But
Make
if my
it up
dad
to
was
me.
in the business, I mean, of course, I'd be like, can you help me at all? I have a friend whose father is like a famous screenwriter and like playwright, and I always was surprised by how little he helped. And it's tough because part of me is like, this industry is so insidious and nepotism, and how could you not?
But sometimes it's that person's pride. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want help from that. But it's like, no, it's so hard to do this. Just take any advantages that you can in life. You have to, right?
Yeah. What did your dad?
Well, I hated my dad, so I was like, I'm not taking any help from him.
Sure.
And that was my big thing, and it's still, I'm working through it right now, not through therapy.
Oh,
But just by myself.
Just by yourself.
Just
Good.
by myself.
Good.
I guess,
On a
yeah.
podcast.
On a podcast. Help me. No. So it was very hard for me to say that I'm getting help from anyone, not just my dad. So I was always like, oh, he's doing that. I should do something completely different. He lives in Greece. I should go to the other side of the world
He's doing
to
Greek
study.
music. I'm going to do good music.
Good. No, that was good. That was good.
Listen, it's very interesting. Great. Here's my one question about Greek music.
I never got help. It's very hard for me to get help from him or anyone. It's always my
But it must
pet
have helped
peeve,
that you're the person, right? That you're his daughter. They
no,
go like,
no, like that was something that they frowned upon in Greece. If they were like, that's why I changed my name, because when people were like, oh, Padaziz, oh, you're his daughter. What, you want to get this job because you know him? And I was like, no, I hate him. And then they wouldn't give me the job.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then, leading up to going to college in America, were you doing any professional things? Were you doing theater? What were you doing?
I was doing theater in high school.
Yeah.
And then I just decided that, yeah, go ahead.
No, please. You decided that.
Oh, no, I decided that I'm going to go to school for acting, not musical theater.
Yeah, because I was
Right.
going to ask, like, what's the musical theater thing in Greece? Like, is there a musical theater? Like, did you do
That's
musicals?
a big conversation. It's terrible. Every time I go to a musical in Greece, I sit in the front row because they invite me, and I always cry because it's so bad.
Oh.
I can't control my emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so bad because every time I'm like, this is the best that they can do. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's
very frustrating.
I mean, when did it start there? I think with stand-up comedy all the time, what I've seen from like different countries, and I will watch the specials with subtitles, is that like I saw the first Netflix special in South Korea, and you're like, these jokes feel very hacky, and it's long setups, few punchlines, but you're like, oh, it'll be where America is with stand-up in 100 years maybe, or 50 years, because it'll be sped up by media intake. But it's like, if musical theater's new, it's just like, it's a baby. It's going to suck if you know like what a matured version of the art form is.
I think the people just suck.
That's the other option.
I'm not like, I don't respect anyone really other than my dad and one more chick, Fureira. Everyone else I think is not talented.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
But is that because it's a newer art form, or you think just Greek people are...
No, for nothing. For acting.
Yeah, she's talking about music. She's talking about the
music,
whole thing.
You guys invented art. Greeks, that's their whole thing.
I don't think anyone is talented.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, I don't.
I mean, I sound...
You're the only Greek person I know. I don't give a shit.
My husband hates when I say this. He calls me a snob, but I think everybody's terrible.
Do you think there's something in the culture that's stopping them from greatness? Is it like,
Yes.
is it that it's too beautiful there? Like, why should anybody like strive to do anything?
Nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
Ever. So they don't work hard for anything. The two people that I do respect are people who literally work 24/7 for their art form. So everybody else is just like either overacting or terribly singing.
Or spending time with their daughter.
Fuck those guys.
So what made you want to go to A, America, and B, the University of Miami?
Well, I didn't have that many options. basically I went to an English school, English speaking, my whole life, and everybody who graduates from there goes to London for school.
Oh.
Or somewhere in England. And nobody went to the States because it was too far. We got we did the IB, which takes you immediately to an English, British university. But my acting teacher is from the States. My acting teacher from high school is from the States. She's from Ohio.
Oh.
And she went to University of Miami. And she said, do you want to try an audition for the United States? And I was like, yeah. So I did Otterbein and University of Miami, because Otterbein is where she's from. And she went to University of Miami.
Wow.
She's still friends with Bruce Leckier.
Oh my God, Bruce Leckier?
Yeah.
So Bruce Leckier.
That's why I auditioned for, actually, because of her.
Tell me about this guy. Tell me about Bruce. Tell me about old Brucey boy.
I was about to say, this is rude to say. Well, then, no wonder you got in right away. I'm sure Bruce Leckier. Bruce Leckier, I mean, do I have to add a big, allegedly parentheses around all of this?
Yes.
So he was a tenured teacher.
Allegedly.
And there was just a little too, but also not a good
familiar
teacher. I cared more, not a good teacher. Just movement and had all these big movement things. There's one day where we were doing arm circles to figure out our shoulder joint. And he had us do arm shoulder, this for the whole class. I mean the whole hour, 10-minute class. And there was one we had to just move in slow motion again for the whole hour as he went to his office. Slow motion.
No.
And me and my friend Rob Nanis, we went to the cafeteria.
In
we
slow
motioned and then we just went to the cafeteria, came back, and then slow motion back. And I remember all our peers, all our classmates were like, you really missed something. We really learned something from this today. And Rob and I were like, shut the fuck up.
Stop it.
And then this was the greatest. We had an exercise. No way. They got rid of it. Did you ever do it, the gun exercise?
Of course.
So the gun exercise was a legendary exercise freshman year, where
you'd hear about it freshman year.
Oh, from the older classmen, you haven't done
it was
the gun,
a big thing.
Exercise
gun
yet?
day.
Gun day.
Gun day.
So you're all, and this is after Columbine, to be clear.
Yeah.
And we were some kind of character from some exercise in that character, and then two seniors or Bruce, if he was doing it, would come in with a fake gun and be like, get on the fucking ground, and would do a hostage situation, improvised, and gradually he'd shoot people throughout the thing and you'd have to die. And I died really early and you had to, again, stay dead for the whole class. And if you fell in an uncomfortable position, you couldn't move or you'd get an F. You were graded for this.
You were graded?
You had to stay alive, basically. It's how you deal with a hostage situation is how, basically, he was trying to test if you were good in character.
It was fun.
I loved it. He hates it. I loved Bruce Lecker's class.
I liked the gun exercise. It was a crazy improv thing. Just learning how to be just commit.
Yeah.
But definitely not allowed anymore. And the funniest thing was Leah, she was doing a sign language character with a classmate named Heath, was her son. And I remember she got shot in the head. And as she's falling, shot in the head, she signs I love you, and then dies.
She would.
I can just imagine the kids in your grade that were a little too into it. And so afterwards they were I really felt something.
Oh, that was me.
Or I was really traumatic. It was really I was really crying. I really felt I was there. Kill me.
Oh.
Kill me, literally, and let me
at that
get
age,
out of this
were you
thing.
this cynical at that age?
Yes, especially about acting class. Especially where the teacher would be we're going to work on the Pledge of Allegiance. I remember doing this in acting class where we all had to be close your eyes. You're on a boat on your way to America and you see the Statue of Liberty. Now, say the Pledge of Allegiance. And you just want us to cry. Stop it. It's I pledge allegiance. Everyone's sitting little, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. It's just kill me.
That would have meant a lot to her coming from Greece.
But I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know this.
Sure.
You don't know it? You don't know it?
Good. Don't learn it.
Yeah.
So Bruce just listen, you're a fantastic performer, but Bruce, there were just a couple people Bruce would let in that their biggest talent.
Stop.
So he was fired, right?
I mean, these are fake, so they weren't the reason.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Just
And he
saying.
asked that in the interview.
Yeah.
But you
Didn't
got,
have them back then.
but so you got in, and then, I mean, your English was always great. You never had
I had an accent.
you had an accent. Were you glad that you went? I mean,
100%.
see, that's strange. to me.
100%.
Yeah, you
I
felt like
use all the stuff that I learned still in my life.
That's great.
But in
Truly.
your mind, were you like, I'm going to go back to Greece and use the fact that I'm kind of a celebrity to catapult my
I
career?
didn't want to go back to Greece. I tried to stay here, but I couldn't get a visa. And then basically what happened was then I had no money. I was working at a motel that people go to have sex.
Yeah.
A motel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like a
But like one where there was
All
a one that was
motels
like,
are-
well, I think there's some where I mean, at least
You pay by the hour.
Quarters, you pay by the hour.
pay by the hour,
And maybe
yeah.
there's a quarter thing that makes the bed vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. So my friend owned one of those hotels, so I went and worked there for the summer to make some money.
Wow.
Baldwin actually helped me. He got a ticket for me back. I did the whole thing. I got a new passport. Went back with nothing, basically.
Wow.
All my
Jesus.
friends put in
You
money.
got a new passport.
I got a new passport. It was very hard. I went back. All my friends put some money in an account so I can spend during the day and pay for rent and stuff. I got a roommate in a 1-bedroom, and I made it back. And then
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, it was.
It's a real triumph of your friends too, of the relationships. You created.
I don't have siblings, but my friends are very important to me. That's why.
If let me tell you, if I had gotten stuck in Greece, I'd be living in Greece right now.
Mm.
There'd be no coming back.
She said
Nobody likes you. No.
No, it's just their grade had a really special. It's what you want from a conservatory, and some grades they gel like that, and some grades don't.
Yeah.
And it's. Was there a lot of relationships in your grade?
Oh yeah.
And do they survive the breakups or because that's what fucks it up?
I mean, we were all friends, so we would just date each other for a little bit, and then we were friends again. It was weird in the beginning, but then we were just friends.
Wow.
That's tough. So you got back.
Well, you have to think we were the party class, so we were fucked up when we were hooking up.
True.
Totally.
You didn't remember half the relationships that you had.
Exactly.
I still tell people all the time, how many espressos did you have in this?
I heard about this.
Did I talk about it on the
your
podcast?
Yeah,
You would have 6 espresso shots in a coffee or something.
Well, somebody told me that John split off. Do you remember him? Music school?
John split off. No.
I saw him in LA, and he said, actually the Starbucks ladies would come and talk to us and say, you should watch out for your friend because she's having too much espresso. And I was like,
Whoa.
when was this a thing? I didn't even know this was a thing. People were worried about how much coffee I drank.
And your friend's she had her stomach
And
pop last night.
he talked about it on the podcast
Yeah.
with
Because
Gus.
it stuck with me forever. Because whenever I thought I had a problem, it was one of those, whenever I thought I had a caffeine problem, I was like, well,
Well, that's
Connie's
normal.
a fucking mess.
Yeah.
In Greece, you have 5 espressos during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not
No,
in one
espresso.
big cup.
No, big espressos. Not
Really?
little espressos. 5 coffees, like a cappuccino.
And yet you don't get any shit done. It's really incredible.
I know. I know.
I just went to Italy, and the coffee is
It's a big thing.
It's a big thing, but it's also very quick. It's also very, to me, I like to have a coffee. I just sit down, drink a coffee. It
agree.
takes a long time. Let a little poop marinate.
Yeah.
But they're like, and go.
That's in Italy, though.
Yeah.
In Greece, you sit with your coffee
Oh,
all
you
day.
do? Oh,
so you
okay.
have coffees throughout the day that you're with all day.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
So you go back to school. This is your last year that this all happens?
I go back to school. Now, I couldn't pay for school because he wasn't paying for it. We weren't speaking. But all of my teachers said, you're very good. We'll let you take the classes.
Wow.
So I was there illegally, basically.
That's a big deal. They did not let that happen at my school. If you
But you
were
have to
even
understand
a little bit late.
what they were offering was worthless.
It wasn't worthless for me.
She had a great time.
I had a great time. I learned a lot.
And
I was
she-
very invested.
Even the senior year was the year where I'm like, okay, can we agree that we've run out of things?
Listen, I don't think that the things they were teaching us were good for what we were going to go do.
Okay, I would
But
define
think
that as the purpose of going to college.
You still use it though.
I still use everything I learned in college.
Yeah,
And
that's
I know
important.
that you hate that, but it's the truth.
No, listen, it wasn't the first 2 years, sure. I even taught Konnie some acting classes. When I got back from the acting conservatory, I did like 3 classes for you, Elizabeth Nesselrode, and I like pretended I was an acting teacher for like 4
You were
sessions
good.
for free.
Do you warm up now before
For
like a show?
free.
Now I do a rap. It's called Alphabet Insanity.
No.
So every show I adamantly attack the alphabet with an anecdotal algorithm made an adamantium. I'm like an Adderall, addicted anaconda, or an alcohol. It's the whole rap.
What?
You do it.
Yeah.
Because
How long is it?
It goes through the whole alphabet. It's like 2 minutes long.
wow.
That was just A, though.
That was
Yeah.
his A.
Yeah.
That was half of A.
That's great. Well, because what I was going to say is if you don't warm up, then you're not using your college, like what you learned in college. Because to me, in musical theater school, we just learned how to warm up.
That's
all
it?
Yes. Oh, think about it. It's all like, in speech class, you're like bending over and stretching and stuff like that. And so I try to do that stuff because we paid a lot of money for our school. Is that what you mean? Like you learned the things
Well,
that you...
I was an acting major. I wasn't a musical theater major.
But even
so
that,
we
like,
didn't do a lot of that.
speech
We
class?
did some of that.
Bruce Miller was a great teacher. I'll go on the record. There was some good acting training. I just mean overall in terms of like, I think my bitterness, there were useful things. My bitterness is just that this did not close the gap at all between training
And
and
real
actually
life.
being in the workforce in any capacity. And they had the tools and the time and the resources to do it.
Well, what were they supposed to teach?
They could have you could have connected you to like do extra work on a Miami production of Dexter, like be on a film set, meet casting directors that are local, fly in casting directors with the $50,000 that everyone has spent to have this tuition. Go to New York, spend more time there. The showcases that we did, no casting directors came, no agents came, no one
I got
came.
Warner Brothers.
Sure. But good for you. No one came
Nothing
for ours.
happened, but
Nothing happened. But I was saying like there were showcases I heard, like if you go to North Carolina School of the Arts, Juilliard, Carnegie Mellon, a lot of people do come to those showcases and people walk out of it. But maybe you don't. That is a crapshoot.
maybe because you were older. Our grade had a lot of people there.
Okay, how many people in the grade are still in the business?
This is always a fun game.
In the business?
You're in the business, working at a
Or-
professional level, making a living doing the art that they studied at their college.
Out of the 13 people, 5.
Okay,
That's pretty good.
That's half.
that's pretty good.
With
not
me,
half,
6.
but
Almost
We didn't cover
half.
math in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
curriculum.
it's not half, but it's close. It is
close
close.
to
It is
half.
close. It's close.
a lot
and
of people.
that's pretty good for musical theater.
It's a lot of people.
yes.
I just think
I would
like
say mine is
we
not.
had a world-class music studio with recording studio. How can we not all walk out with voiceover reels? How can we not? How can we not use the resources? Instead, I come here and I got to pay $1,200
You
to someone.
could have done that by
But,
yourself.
Sure, I could look
But
back
how
and
would
know
he
all these things.
know?
How would I know?
Yeah.
And a lot of
No,
these
that's a good
teachers,
point. That's a good
there's
point.
a lot of teachers who it's just like they're teaching you by 80s, like what the
Yep.
system was like in the 80s. And speaking of Bruce LeCure, he was directing our showcase. They threw it to him for God knows why. You know what he said to me? I wanted to do a monologue from The Office. And he said, comedy's not really your thing. And you don't want to go out there and show them the thing that's not like your specialty yet. And
Well, were you a little dramatic little bitch in,
I was
in
dramatic.
college?
Okay,
mu-
Gianmarco in college? Oh my
Tell-
God.
That's what I want to hear about.
So when he announced that he's going to start doing comedy, I was like, that's not Gianmarco. That's a different person. He was like so obsessed. He was crying when he didn't get Hedda Gabler.
what are you talking? I wasn't crying.
You were crying, and you had to do it with me. Urinetown. You had to be in Urinetown.
Right, we
and
did
you were
Urinetown
so
together.
upset.
Were you?
I was
Little Sally?
Lockstock. She was little Sally.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And he
That's why.
ripped my little doll. Do you remember you took her arm?
What did I
on
do
the
to-
last night because you wanted to keep something from the show?
Oh, yeah? Did I?
Yeah.
No, we had so much. I remember that. First, that was a blast.
Yeah,
that was an
that's a
awesome
great
role
show.
to do.
That's a great show.
And I remember, like, my note was always like I was being too mean, like in character to her. I remember I wanted to like push your face back at one point. They're like, "Stop that." The director that
It worked, though.
did not like the comedic stuff, the real, didn't wanted it very set.
We
and
did
I was
do
in
it,
phase. Oh yeah, we did. But like I always wanted to fuck around more. So when she went out of town, I remember she had to go to town because a family member was sick, and I was like, "Now I'm gonna do it all."
Great show.
He
Great
did.
Show.
He
Great
did it
show.
all.
You've worked with those composers.
Yeah, I've worked with them a bunch of times. They're very those two, Mark Holleran and Greg Kotis.
I forgot we
They're
did that
amazing.
together. That was so much fun.
But he was like the dramatic actor.
Totally.
I approached that role like from
and
a
he
sincere
loves drama. He still
You don't
loves so
understand.
much
he
drama.
did this Italian character, and he was like,
That's
I'm
right, I
gonna
get it.
learn how to use my hands like the Italians do. And he was like, everybody was like, oh, Gianmarco, the very serious actor. And then suddenly he's like, I'm doing comedy now.
Yeah. This is great. This is the best thing ever.
Don't
He's such a little drama queen.
You and Leah were like, oh, we are so serious about this.
Wasn't there
and
a story
came back
about
to New York.
Wasn't there a story about you being in a wheelchair for a long time? Like you were
we talked about it. We had a friend
you really
where
wanted to be like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Dan Day-Lewis, where I pretended I was Christy Brown, famous author with cerebral palsy.
Nice.
I was into, and like this college, like many colleges, like it was very much like fuck method and emotions. We're going to talk about text analysis, which is useful, but it's also more easy to teach. So I think a lot of people like never. You have to figure out the other part too at some point. You got to figure out how to connect. You got to figure out how to be emotional.
Yeah. That's the questions that I would have. But let's talk about you. Let's
No. Ask me more about Gianmarco. I have a lot of stories.
What did you think of me in college though?
Oh, I loved you. I mean, I thought you were one of the best actors I knew.
Oh, that's nice.
You
After she
and
talked
Leah.
about every Greek actor being the worst actor in the world, I was the best
I'm
of that.
serious. I actually did. This is really. I was like, I'm so obsessed with you. No, but I do. I thought he was great. I thought, he was one of the people I looked up to. Him and Leah. Mm-hmm. And I thought you guys were incredible, and Baldwin too. I mean, I don't know if you remember him acting.
I remember he was good.
He was very good. So you guys were like, and I always liked you. People didn't like you. I always did.
Wait, did people really not like
This
me?
is my favorite.
No.
She keeps saying it
Who
with
didn't like
such
me?
earnestness.
Nobody likes you. Nobody I know.
It just keeps.
In your grade?
And
I wasn't
grades
like-
above and grades.
Who are you talking about? I need more specifics. I need more specifics.
When I say Kayla likes you, she listens to your podcast.
No, I don't care about who likes me. I care about who doesn't like me.
Well, everyone I mention, I'm like, do you guys listen to Gianmarco's podcast?
Well, that's not necessarily a reflection on me.
Because we don't like Gianmarco.
That's what they say?
Well, I know they don't like you because we would talk about it. Because in college, I was always like talking about you being a good actor and how I thought you were funny. Well, not funny,
Sure.
but like a funny guy.
Uh-huh.
You weren't
Not
funny. in
purposely
college.
funny,
Yeah.
just like amusing.
And everybody was like,
so
"Oh."
lucky that I get to be here.
And people would say, you and Gianmarco just have that connection. I don't see it.
I definitely wasn't like, I wasn't like friendly to the grades. I wasn't like, let's go hang out. I was just more, but I feel like I was more of a recluse than like outwardly anything. I just like wasn't talkative. I want to have every single member from that class
You
on
were
this
just
podcast to
weird.
find out what happened. I was weird. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a little bit hard to get to know, but I think that once you do, you just realize what a lovely person you are.
I think I've become more human.
I
agree.
agree.
You've seen the trajectory.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want a list of everyone who doesn't like me.
Well, here's the thing. It was my freshman year when we did You're in Town.
Sure.
So sophomore year.
Sophomore year, yeah.
But we worked together on a show before that. You were in a show and I was working on it. I don't remember what it was.
Oh my God! Here comes the story of me yelling at a
Was
tech
it
member.
Rent? Were you in
It could've-
Rent?
I wasn't Rent, unfortunately. and
Okay,
I had
so
a very
he was
small
working
part.
Rent. He was in Rent and I was working because the first year you couldn't be in a show. You had to work
You had to run
in
the
it.
tech.
So I guess we got to know each other, and then my sophomore year we did that together, which we spent a lot of time together because we were both like obsessed with acting.
Yeah.
And we did the work, so we spent a lot of time together. I think that's why I liked you. Otherwise, I don't know if I would like you.
Sure.
Yeah. Wait, I want to ask because you must be very good. I mean, to have English as a second language and to book Little Sally, I think is a serious thing.
Everybody hated me for that. Molly,
Right?
do you remember Molly
Sounds
Evans?
like there were a lot of haters in this fucking school.
It does.
Sounds not very specific
Do
to
you
me.
remember Molly Evans?
Everyone
I
hated
remember
you.
Molly Evans.
So she was waiting for You're in Town to get Little Sally, and then when I got it as a sophomore and she was a junior, all of her grade was so mad at me.
Oh, wow.
They were like, this Greek girl comes and takes the thing out
Even
of her
she
hands.
has a Greek
Well,
accent.
let me tell you, like, this is another problem I think with like the college program where like I also understand, like, it's great that you got it. I also understand if you pay $50,000 a year and they come with the part of Little Sally and you're 4'10" or however tall she is, and you're like, well, you
was
guys have
very
been
small.
training me. If I'm not good enough for the part, you were the ones who promised me training in exchange for money, and now I'm doing the ensemble at the college I'm paying $50,000 a year for. It just is not.
Yes.
The whole casting system does not fall in line with the scholastic pay an insane amount of money system, and you're stuck at the campus for 4 years
Yes.
system.
I mean, she was also a musical theater major, and I was an acting major.
Wow.
Even rougher
That's
for a
tough.
musical
I
lead.
was better.
Yeah. Obviously. Wait. So you
That's
went on.
why I got it.
You went on to do a show in Greece, right? That like the Modern Family.
You did Modern Family in Greece.
I did. That was the only audition that actually happened in Greece. People don't audition in Greece. They just get the part.
Oh.
So
Sounds great.
I went back to Greece depressed, and I heard about this audition, and I went and did it, and I got it.
Now,
But there weren't auditions. Like, there are no more auditions.
I just want to ask a question about acting in Greek, like in Greece. Like, do you feel like it's the same? Do you feel like in general?
Well, it's not the same because you're acting with bad actors.
Okay, sure.
You're talking about your whole cast?
Yeah.
You're throwing your whole cast under the bus.
No, there was one good guy.
No, but like what I mean is like, do you feel? Well, you know how jokes are different in different languages, right? Because
Of course.
the way things are placed.
Well,
the
this
way
is why
worded.
it didn't go well, because they just Google translated it. So
Oh.
the jokes never landed.
So it literally was Modern Family.
Oh yeah, we got the rights and
Oh
everything.
my god!
But they didn't like have like a great director being like, oh, this plot point won't make sense in Greece, so let's alter it a little. Like it was just like copy and paste.
Yeah, we couldn't really make a lot of changes because we got the rights to it.
Yeah.
And
But they
honestly,
didn't
seeing it makes
translate
me
the
wonder why
jokes.
they don't do it for like every show, because you have the template right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the problem was that the people who actually translated didn't know good enough English to get the joke.
Mm-hmm.
So they just translated it and thought it was going to be funny.
Wow.
So, okay, so when you graduated, you went back to Greece right away?
No, I came here illegally to New York and tried to figure out a way to stay. And I had a boyfriend back then, and I was like, do you maybe want to get married?
Yeah.
He was like, no. And I was like, okay, this is fucked. I'm not doing this. I don't have a passport because I lost it again. I lost my passport again.
Jeez.
So yeah, I just
You're
went.
like, Dad? He's like, I'm in Greece. This one's not on me.
Yeah. But yeah, I had to go back to Greece. And then as soon as I got there, I was super depressed. Didn't have my friends, didn't have anything.
Did you have any money? Did your dad get back in touch? Were you?
No, I didn't. I had to work. And I don't remember where I was working when I got back. But it was hard. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to try and do what I did there or what I wanted to do there. And then I auditioned for that and I got it. So I immediately had work.
Wow.
Now, to get that audition, though, that seems like to audition for a series regular.
It was an
in
open
America.
audition.
You got an open call. You booked a major television show in Greece from an open call. I'm going to Greece tomorrow.
No, but you have to understand, everybody was really bad. That's why I got it.
Yeah, again, going to Greece tomorrow.
I'm going to Greece tomorrow.
Wait, okay.
So if you're good in Greece, you're gonna be like, you're gonna make it.
Does it pay a
Wow.
lot? Does it?
No, 500 euro for the whole month.
Oh my god.
What? That's like theater.
That's way worse.
500 euro. Yeah, that's like how? How long are the shoot days? That's insane.
Whole days.
So do people get famous off these shows, or like
Does anybody care?
I mean, that's what the pay is for actors.
But
That's
like,
why
could
I don't
you launch
do
that
acting
into a
anymore.
movie career in Greece, or like?
Movies. Most people don't get paid for doing movies. They do it for free,
Wow.
just to be in a movie,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
or
Yeah.
they get like 1,000 euro.
How many seasons did you do Modern Family for?
2, and then it stopped.
It stopped. It wasn't.
Well, it didn't go well.
Oh my god.
Are there any shows that are long-running Greek shows?
Yes.
And like, do those people eventually make some money? Like, does the pay
So
go
I
up?
I asked about this because my friend is working production for like the most watched show in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
The most, like, the main character makes is 8,000 a month.
Which is a living wage, right? I mean, very,
But this is like the top show in Greece.
If you do a TV episode, if I did a TV episode and I don't have a rate, I could get, if I was a series regular, it'd be 25,000
Sure.
an episode.
yeah.
Just
I'm
starting.
talking 8,000 a
Lowest.
month.
I know
But
that's why
that's
it's
American
crazy.
television. I mean, it's
Sure,
different. It's a different market.
But this
it's
is
just
the
one-
biggest. This is like Friends is $1 million an episode, and this is 8,000 a month. That's
Yeah.
wild.
And this is like season 3.
Wow.
They got 1,000 the first year.
Wow.
So So then you left. You were done with acting then?
Well, it was annoying. I was working so much and I was getting so little, and I couldn't have a second job because I didn't have time. I would go home, had to read the scripts, do the blah, blah, blah. So then I tried, this was great. I did a new musical where I would get €50.
For how long?
50 euro every week.
Wow. That's not a lot.
Not a lot at all. But are you?
How much is that? Nobody can do math in here.
Well, I mean, the euro is very close to the dollar
now
right
it's
now.
the same.
Yeah. It's pretty
At the
much
time,
the same.
it would have been like $75.
Yeah, well, good for you.
You think that's a lot?
No.
But
is there an actors union? No, you do your question.
yeah, is there an actors union?
Oh, yeah, but it's a joke.
Frankly, I don't know how Greece functions. Like everything I'm seeing, I'm like, do the buildings stand? But okay, so then how did you become? Because you're famous.
Well, this is what I did. I had to find a way to make money and also do what I like.
Uh-huh.
So that wasn't acting because basically, I mean, the old Gianmarco will understand this. Mm-hmm. Acting with bad actors makes you feel like a bad actor.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we still do sketch together.
Yeah, I don't know you. That's why I'm.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
talking
That's
to
okay. No, I'm
Gianmarco.
with you. I'm with you.
But that's the most frustrating thing, right? I mean, to be acting with bad actors. So that just made me feel like a shitty actor every day. So then I stopped wanting it because I was like, what am I going to do? I can't, I'm not connecting with this person. This is not real. I don't even believe this.
Yeah.
Nobody, it just frustrated me because it's a big passion of mine. I love it a lot. And I got very invested in it. So if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well. And I want the product. And this is the bad thing about Greece. People would say, why do you care? You were good in it. Mm-hmm. And that's just not my mentality.
Sure.
I want the show to be good. I don't want to stand out in the show because that means that the show wasn't good. And if I'm standing out, something's wrong with it. So I didn't want to do that. I did Boing Boing 2 years later.
Yeah.
In Greece.
Yeah.
Great play.
That paid, I think, €100 a week, or maybe it was like €1,000 a month. But still very bad. Very, very bad. So then I decided I have to find another way to do it. So then Instagram had just started. And I started, taking nice pictures. And then nobody was an influencer in Greece, really. And I started doing that. And that took off. And
Do you think it helped that did people know that you are the daughter of the thing?
Okay, yeah, but that's not what helped. I got a boob job.
Okay.
Sure.
And you feel like that helped?
Stupid. Well,
doesn't hurt.
no, that's not why I got a boob
No one
job.
called you.
Okay.
Hey, did your boobs get bigger? What the
I
fuck?
had just gotten, actually I reduced them since then, but I just got a boob job and the doctor made a mistake and put bigger ones in. So I had really big
That
boobs.
seems like a fishy kind of mistake. Doctor, what?
I feel like they're halfway through, and he's like, you know what? I made a mistake. They're a little bit bigger, and the other person's on the table going, "Yeah, she'll be fine with it. Just sew her up."
How much bigger?
much. I wanted the smallest size, and
Yeah.
I got bigger than this, a pretty big fucking size. So basically, what happened with Instagram?
Did you wake up and you couldn't see Doctor?
I woke up.
Parting the trees?
I woke up and I said, I look fat. These are way too big.
Did they reduce them immediately, or
No, I kept them for 5 years because it was so painful. I didn't want to do it again.
Oh God.
So why I mentioned the boobs was because I thought I was taking really cool artsy pictures that were influencer material, and people were just taking them and putting them on websites saying she is so hot, look at her boobs. So that's how I got followers.
Okay.
Sure.
That really sucks, but then I started changing my content. I wouldn't do bikini content. I would do more artsy things, and
Cool.
then that took off, and that's how I make my money, basically.
And then,
Wow.
and then was the music coming in here at all when you made these songs?
So basically, Panic Entertainment is a manager. They're managers.
Yeah.
It's my record label.
Oh,
but
cool.
they also do other things. So they put you in shows, they do acting, they do TV, they do music videos, they
Yeah.
do everything. So they found me, I don't remember how, and they said, "Do you want to do a show at this nightclub as a singer?" And I recorded a playlist and I did a show.
Did you send like a Urinetown track? Like,
no, it was more like
you'll get Urinetown. They're like, oh no, this is the wrong.
It was like a jazzy musical theater-y things, like cabaret
like
style.
A cabaret. Yeah.
And I did a good show, and then they were like, "Oh, you're good at that. Let's make you some music." Sorry.
And did you, at any point, you start talking to your dad again? I'm just curious about your dad. Like, for him, he must go, wow, my daughter's now a professional singer too?
Oh, no, much earlier. When I came back from the States after that year when we weren't talking, he had a stroke. And we weren't talking, and I said, my uncle called me and said, your dad had a stroke. He might die. Are you coming home? And we weren't talking back then. And I was like, no, fuck him. Because I was doing Bernarda Alba at the Arch Center. And that was a big thing for me. And I was like, I'm not leaving for this asshole.
Yeah, I understand.
Wow.
So then when I went back, it was like, we were kind of talking again. And then we were on regular terms. So we never actually talked about it. We just like left it behind.
Yeah. Yeah. But then did you ever perform with him?
Yeah. So years later, like after that, I went to London and tried to make it there, but I hated London. So I went back to Greece again. Then I came back here and tried to stay, couldn't do it, went back to Greece.
Was
again.
Panic like helping you here, or were you like trying to find new representation here?
Yeah, new representation.
Panic is a Greek like representation company.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
So then after trying London and trying here again, and then I figured out how to do the green card because I had done some things in Greece. But then I was like, I don't know if I want to stay here after I got it.
Yeah.
So then I went back to Greece and just, did everything.
And you're happy there?
No.
So what's your...
Look at it.
First of all, can I just ask, because the idea of performing with your father, like just imagine, Douglas, we don't have to go into your father dynamics, but we both have complicated relationships
We
with
sure
our fathers.
do.
Can you imagine just like jamming with your dad on stage?
No.
And like you play his guitar. And I don't know if you guys do that ever on stage.
No.
Is your dad a musician?
No, my dad's a pilot.
No, but the
A
point...
pilot?
A pilot.
So
yeah,
the point
yeah.
is like the thought of like sharing our artistic world in any way, shape, or form with our father is wild.
Well, I didn't actually share the stage with him.
You opened?
I opened for him.
Oh, okay. All
so
right.
it was different.
Did he come on and when he came on, he go, I'm so proud of my...
No,
Really?
of course not.
That's so weird because
That's
from
not
everything
the relationship we have.
I know, but from everything you've told me about him, you'd think he'd want to be the Tom Hanksy, like I'm so proud of my daughter,
Well,
kind of
he
nice
would-
guy image.
No, because he's like, I have my daughter here. He doesn't have to say anything about it because he actually has me on his show. So that for him is enough.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
So, okay, so you're not happy in Greece. Where do you want to go?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. I guess I am happy in Greece. I'm married to a Greek man. And
Oh, you are?
And what does he do?
He's a water polo player.
Oh, wow.
He's an Olympian. He got a silver medal in the Olympics last
Oh,
year.
my God.
Last year? So he's still, like, will he be in the next Olympics?
No, he quit the national team so we could travel.
Okay.
So is he
I
still...
ruined his career.
Was it a tough decision for him, or was he just
Very
like...
tough, very tough.
How did you convince him?
I didn't. I pretended it wasn't my idea.
I see.
Oh,
So I
so
was
you're
like-
extremely manipulative.
I
Those
am.
acting skills did come in handy after all.
Told you.
Wow.
Does he just stay in shape now, or is he like, I'm
He's
done?
still working at the clubs, the Greek club, for the Greek teams, but not the national team.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Greece. Okay, I make money there. Not as much as I would like to be making, but I work like an American. That means regular people to you, not people in LA.
Sure.
People here that actually like do
majority
things.
from money coming from photo shoots, fashion, brand deals, stuff.
Correct. Instagram collaborations
Yeah.
and music and TV, because now I'm a TV host as well.
Great.
What kind of show?
I did a music show.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm doing this year, but it depends. I did the music awards.
Oh, like you were the host?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like what I do now, because I want to get away from music because I don't really like it. I just did it because it was giving me money. Because when you work at a nightclub as a musician in Greece, you get like $500 a night.
Wow.
So that's why everybody wants to be a singer.
Yeah.
So, do you like the hosting? Or
I do.
do you ever miss acting? It seemed like you loved acting.
Well, I use it in my hosting.
Of course.
That's where I use it all.
You have to act like you're happy all the time.
No, just like acting exercise, listening and reacting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sharpens your tools doing this, having done this podcast.
Totally. I totally think. But I just know at a certain point, do you think you get bored of it and you'll want to go back to the...
Well, it sounds like you move around. It sounds like when you get bored of things, just move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can do everything because I work. And listen, you go to a country where nobody works. If you work, you can get shit done.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm hustling all day, every day. I know. I mean, I hate that word, but
sure,
it's the truth. Like I'm out of my home all day doing things.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning. I go to the radio show because I was a radio host as well this year, and then I go to the TV show, and then I go and do a photo shoot for Instagram. So I'm literally working all day, every day.
Wow.
So I get shit done.
Yeah.
I make money. So that's the good thing about Greece.
Have there been any Greek stars at your level that figured out a way to transition it into American success?
No.
Yeah. I imagine it's tough, but I feel like...
They don't speak English.
Sure.
Or if they do, they have a very thick accent.
I wonder if Panic, your management company, gets the actor auditions for when they need a Greek role. Or they need someone in a TV show here that speaks both.
I don't think they look for people in Greece.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I just learned that Ana de Armas, they taught her English for that, like her first television role in whatever war.
What did she speak originally?
Spanish, I think, and
my God.
she learned phonetically the lines. And then when they asked her to do a different line, she'd booked a job, and they asked her to do a different line. She didn't know how to do it, and somebody pulled her aside, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And they had to teach her. I learned this on TikTok. I don't know if this is real. I learned this on fucking TikTok. Disclaimer. But they had to teach her how to speak English because they were like, "You're going to be a star. You're about to be a star, so you better."
So how will she
English.
do it from now on?
They taught her how to speak English.
Like for real?
Like hardcore, they taught her for real.
She must have a good brain. I couldn't. You could not put me in a movie.
If I'm going to Greece tomorrow. If I went to Greece and they were like, you could be a star, you really just got to buckle down and learn how to speak Greek, then you
wouldn't
do
be
it.
able to learn.
You don't think so?
No, Greek is a very hard language.
Greek is wild.
I'm a fool. She knows.
And you guys talk fast. Am I wrong? I was watching the trailer for Modern Family today. It feels like you guys are talking fast.
I can't believe you mentioned Modern Family. That was like 10 years ago. It feels like a different lifetime.
If I was on Modern Family and I had a line on Modern Family, I'd be talking about it every episode of the podcast.
You think? I mean, it was...
It's a huge...
It failed, so that's maybe why I don't...
Sure.
I didn't think it was good. This is my problem. If I thought it was good, I would be talking about it.
Sure. Well,
you wouldn't be able to learn Greek.
Okay, good.
For sure. I think Americans talk faster than Greeks.
Your name alone. Say your original name, your real name.
Kostadina Pagozidi.
That's crazy.
Well,
that's 12 syllables.
It's not crazy. It's her name, Gianmarco.
No, it's weird. It's crazy.
Her name is crazy compared to Gianmarco Soresi.
Yeah, your name is fucking
weird. Your name is
fucking
weird. I'm the only one with a normal name here.
Gianmarco Soresi 6. What's yours? Do it slow.
Kostadina Pagozidi.
It's just a little bit longer. It's really not that big of a...
I've never heard of the name Gianmarco until I met you.
It's not as common. More Giancarlo, Gianfranco, Gianluca, but it's there.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, it's there. So you got married. You happy with this marriage?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You weren't talking to me.
Are you married?
No, but I was being affirmative.
You're engaged?
Oh, I am engaged. Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm engaged. Thanks.
Are you excited?
God, I'm really excited. Yeah. Actually, we just had our first little tension about the wedding. She was doing the dishes and we were talking about what's happening when we're getting married. And she was like, I just wish you were more excited about it. And I was like, oh, wait. But I am excited about it. It was the first time, everyone says you get engaged and planning the wedding is your first big test.
Uh-huh.
That's when the first, I don't know how it was for you.
Terrible.
Yeah. So there's things. There are things that come up, new things. And I was like, Joanne and I will be fine.
Are you helping?
Yeah, I think I am. I think
Douglas,
I am.
Douglas, at least from the outside, you can never tell on the inside, but Douglas is he's engaged. He's smart. He cares. He's aesthetically intelligent. Like you, for a wedding partner, I would think you'd be the dream the closest thing to a gay man any woman's gonna
I have
get.
a point of view. I have I have a point of view. It's not like I'm like, yeah, babe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Yeah. Like I have
He's
an
like,
idea.
I'll make the food.
Yeah. No, but it was like the first moment of like us having to talk about, okay, well then we need to communicate more about this, about getting married, because obviously you feel like you're doing everything. And I feel like I don't know what to do because you've taken the reins. So, we've got to.
It's hard because if somebody decides, oh, I'm going to take care of this, but then halfway through when you realize what a bitch it is, you want the other person to, oh, do you need any help? Should I do anything? But
yes.
it sounds like you're excited about it.
I am excited. Oh my God. Yeah, totally.
You should do more.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
So
I will.
Just little things, but
Absolutely.
make sure to not overstep because if she's
Well, okay, now you
planning
see
it,
the problem right here. You just showed the problem right here and there.
just exposed
There
it.
were 3 seconds between
But don't do
help,
too
but
much.
don't do too
no,
much.
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
So if she started doing it already and you say, can I do something to help?
Yeah.
Don't try and change what she's already planned.
No.
That's what I mean. Don't overstep. Like,
Yeah.
make sure to be helpful without changing. If somebody's been working on something for 6 months and then you go and you're like, no, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The episode that's airing after this is with Lucas Connolly, and we did a live episode. He went to rehab. He goes to Alcoholics Anonymous. He just got married, and he told me this story. He was like in Anonymous. I don't think I'm sharing out of turn. He said he was sharing that the wedding. There's a lot of stress and all these things, and like a guy came up to him, an old guy, said, "Don't ever complain about the wedding. They'll never forget it," and walked away. And he was like, he was like, I will never ever complain about any of this stuff again. Like an old guy just was like,
Don't complain.
This is the thing. If you complain about it, she'll never forget it.
Like she brings it up after the wedding?
Yeah, just like that. Like it's a special day. It's an important thing. I hear, again, I come from a divorced household. It wasn't the same, but I do hear some women talk about marriage, and it's just like it's deep culture, heritage, everything. This is a big thing. And if you're like not as engaged in it, like you gotta find it within yourself. You gotta find some kind of love of it.
Yeah.
But it was just like when he heard it from this guy, the way he said it, like it led to a divorce.
Yeah.
And he doesn't speak to his daughter anymore.
believes
and he's
it.
like, I will never
Yeah.
ever complain about
Just
it
because
again.
he complained about the wedding once.
Did you have a big wedding?
Pretty big, but it wasn't like
Only a couple
that.
publications covered it.
Yeah, I picture that you're like a big, like they're writing about your wedding in like the Greek tabloids. Is that a fair thing?
Yes.
They are. What's that feel like? Like, did you ever, in a million years, feel like you'd be there? Where like, oh shit, there I am in my wedding dress.
Yeah, because I grew up being photographed outside my house.
Yeah,
Sure.
So it wasn't weird for me. I don't necessarily like it.
Do you not like it though? Like if there was no coverage, you'd be like, what the fuck?
It depends. It really depends on what they write. I'm the kind of person that reads every comment on YouTube.
Oh really?
Good.
Oh man.
Are they nice, or what do people say about you?
Oh no, they're not nice.
What do they
It's
say
never
about you?
nice.
I mean, I have a
They
lot
say her
of
boobs
people.
got smaller. What the fuck?
I have a lot of people that like me a lot. So people are either obsessed with me or they hate me. I have no middle ground.
Yeah, well, because middle ground doesn't comment.
It-
Middle ground.
Yeah.
Middle ground isn't like
No,
I
I'm
feel
talking
neutral
about-
about neutral about it.
This is okay. No.
Yeah.
What do people say about you?
I'm
like,
gonna
what,
have to pee. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can be.
Yeah. I would actually grab my water.
I just want to. What are you taking a full intermission? No, it's not two
no
people.
intermission.
Wait, before you pee,
Okay.
what do like your haters? What do they say about you?
Oh, look at her. If she didn't have her dad, she wouldn't be doing this job. Hits me
That-
right here, man.
Fucking that sucks.
It sucks because I know it's not true. Because when I went to America, where nobody knew him, I was still successful.
Fucking little Sally over here.
Little Sally.
Fucking booked
Successful. You know what I mean? Like people still thought I was good,
it. Yeah.
and they didn't know who he was. That was a big thing for me. That's why I love America so much.
They need to listen to this podcast and find out that your dad did nothing.
Yeah, truly.
Almost fucking nothing. Almost tried to sabotage you.
He did try to sabotage me.
All right, you can
Take a pee
go
break?
pee. You're in town. Speaking of you're in town,
Yeah.
go pee, and
Where
we'll.
is the
Oh, and we'll talk.
This is. I don't have the other floors in this apartment, Connie. The bathroom is the only direction this way. You thought it could be right here, right
That's
next to the
the
podcast studio.
closet.
Can you imagine
If you had a bathroom right
if you
there.
had to like go to the bathroom right next to the?
That's like in kindergarten. Remember in kindergarten, I don't know how your school was, but our bathrooms were in the classroom. Like there wasn't a bathroom. There was like a separate. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'm
I
thinking.
felt like at elementary school, the bathrooms were in the room, at least in my school, which to me is so embarrassing. You know, peeing. It's just too loud to be separated by a door.
Teacher and having to deal with like bodily stuff with other people's children.
Brutal.
It just no.
Brutal.
So we can riff for a little. Your camera stopped. I don't know if the beginning of this file is fucked.
Oh, okay.
I hate
these cameras.
I hate all this because I don't know what happened. It said card was corrupt, and I'm like, well, why? It wasn't corrupt last time.
Yeah.
I'm not downloading anything with this card, so I'm filled with rage
right now,
and I just want to go. I think there's times I'm like, oh, I'm gonna move this podcast studio. Tova's moved in. I'm gonna go to like her place, build it there. But then I'm like, I don't want to run this shit anymore. I don't want to run cameras anymore. I don't know how it works.
Oh boy.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome back.
Well, let's go on to our segment.
This has gotta stop.
This has got to stop.
That was me.
I know.
That was you.
I did that in like 3 seconds.
Guys, you have to understand, I'm like a real fan of this podcast.
It's very cool.
Really?
It got me through really bad shit in Greece.
Oh
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was going to a job that I hated that was like an hour and a half away and I couldn't listen to any more music, I was like, this fucker did a podcast. Let's listen to it. And then I got obsessed with it because I think I like tied it with, I don't know. I love it. I think it's very good.
I heard you were slightly upset that Russell isn't here, and I get that.
I mean, I
get
don't
that.
know you.
I know. I get that. I mean, Russell,
sorry.
if you are on this podcast and you're expecting Russell, I'm a pretty big disappointment.
That's not true at all.
He's
No, I was just waiting to hear his laugh.
He has the best laughs. It's like that squeaky, high, like wheezy laugh.
He has a wheezy laugh for sure.
Wheezy laugh.
Can you do a new? Terrible.
It's like really high. It's awesome.
Nobody
It's
can
awesome.
do it.
Yeah, no one can do
So,
it.
have you actually had anyone on the podcast that listens to it?
No, just my friends.
I do. I listen to it.
Yeah, you listen to it. I
Yeah.
mean, no, I don't think. I was surprised. A comedian recently, like, kind of sheepishly, was like, "I listened to your podcast." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
I think it's like it's always weird because it's like you know more about my life than I know about your life, and that's what's just weird about. Like, I listen to Mark Norman's podcast sometimes. Tuesday with Stories. I listen to Anthony Jeselnik's podcast. If I ever met Anthony Jeselnik, who I'm a big fan of, he's a comedian. It would be so weird because I feel like I know so much about him.
Sure.
I know so much about him, and I'm a fanboy. So it'd just be like, I'd be horrible. I'd just be quiet. I'd be too scared to be like, how's? Could I say, how's Rummy, his dog? How's Rummy? Or would that be like, ew?
I think it
Well, I
depends.
keep on wanting to ask about Tova. I know so much about her.
Let me tell you, we've had to. I have to figure this out because I was doing a show in Chicago, and I go, I'm going into some bit. My girlfriend's a bitch, and I say my girlfriend. It was a joke, by the way. That look.
Yeah, what the fuck? She's not a bitch. Like, I know her.
But I say, so my girlfriend, and someone in the audience goes, Tova, and
Really?
I'm like, oh boy, and then for the rest of the act, I'm referring to her as Tova. Because I'm like,
Wow.
well, I'm not going to go back to saying my girlfriend, so now I'm just talking about Tova on stage.
Has
And
that
saying
changed
and also some of the jokes I do are absurdist, mean one-liners. And so the more personal you make it, sometimes it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How could you say that? Like that joke, it's where I say, I don't know a lot about Jewish traditions. She's been teaching me about Jewish traditions. Like a couple weeks ago, she was giving me a blowjob. I heard her go, and that's Hebrew for wrap it up. When you know the person's face as I say it, it gets less funny.
I had a girl once go, "You're killing me down. I'm dying down here." She once said, "I'm dying down here." She felt like it was taking too long, and I was like, "Well, what do you think? Like, you're not doing a great job."
Oh,
She
no.
said, "She said,
"Is this thing on?"
She said, "I'm dying down here, Doug." And I was like, "First of all, I prefer Douglas." I'm dying down here? That's crazy. I'm like, I had just done my
If
thing.
I were to say, when I went down on women, I said every time I feel like I was dying down there, it would have happened every time. I'm dying down here.
Annoying. It's annoying. I mean,
yes.
look at it from, you can't, but try and realize what is going on down there if, you're dying down there and nothing's happening.
It wasn't that long, and I had just spent a good amount of time on her side of things. And you didn't hear a peep out of me. What the fuck?
I'm sure that's harder than actually going down on a man.
No, but like I think like giving a blowjob, like it's more like
there is more.
It gets in the way of your like airways. Like going down.
It's like if you have
it's annoying.
It's
like it's kind of nauseating. I feel like there must be a lot of
100%.
this. Like,
I almost vomit all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
No. Wait, we were doing a This Has Gotta Stop though.
This has got to stop. Just Sally Ann Hall, great comedian, had a bit about like there are a spectrum of women. There are women who hate giving blowjobs, and women who will do it. And it feels like, oh yeah, that's probably true.
It's true, yeah. It's not a fun thing to do.
And I think that is one way where like porn really has warped our brains, because in porn it's like they're so they cannot wait.
It's exciting for like 3 seconds. When the person gets excited, like, oh, you're doing this now. And then it's like, okay, this was a bad decision. I shouldn't have started this ever.
Yeah.
But then again,
I also feel like for men, I don't know. I feel like women are more. There's probably porn's effect too. More like vocal about like, oh, you're getting close. You're doing stuff. I feel like there's a lot of blowjobs with men where they're silent until they're like, oh.
What? Girls are more talkative during
Not talkative, just like in noises. Just like, oh, I think, oh, we're making progress here. You get to know what's going on. Okay. I just feel like a blowjob where someone's not coming. It's just like just silence in the room. Silence. Just silent. That's why you got to have the music.
Yeah.
Well, what's the music going to help? How are you going to know you're getting there?
You just don't have to hear silence. You don't have to hear.
If it's sounding like that, it's probably wrong.
Nom, 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 nom. I'm dying down here.
I'm dying down here? Was it with your dick in her mouth?
She was like, yeah. Well,
oh.
She took it out, and she was like,
took it out.
Oh, she took it out.
I'm dying down here.
Oh, I'm going on here.
Brutal.
This has got to stop. Do you have a This has got to stop for us?
Other
than Doug is not coming fast enough.
Okay. This has to do with So I got back from LA today.
Okay.
I decided New York was going to be this is my honeymoon.
Oh.
So my husband had never been to the U.S.
Let me tell you something. If I went on a honeymoon with Tova and I did a podcast during that honeymoon,
you'd be dead. You'd be a dead person.
The wedding with the marriage would be off.
This is why I married him. He lets me he lets me do whatever I want. I took him to a fucking comedy show that was terrible in LA. He just sat
that was your
there.
First mistake, going to a comedy show in LA.
He doesn't speak English.
Oh, he doesn't.
And he just sat through it, and he's like, I know this is making you happy.
Oh. Do you wish he spoke English?
Yes, he does. He can get along. Like he just doesn't speak well. He doesn't understand when people speak very fast.
Sure.
But he talks to all my friends.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, he can communicate.
Could we have him on the podcast, or would it be a bad episode?
It would be a slow episode. Sure. But he's very funny, even with his little English. He's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, do you want to come? Because he knows I listen to the podcast. He's like, oh, you're going, good for you, your friend, podcast. And I was
Your impressions are my favorite
I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. Do you want to come? And he said, I would get bored.
Oh my God.
I will say, I'm noticing, I notice a different energy from what your impression of your parents to him.
Different
he seems
energy.
like a lot cooler.
He's so cool.
A lot smoother, and seems like you love him very much.
Yeah.
It seems like he doesn't open his eyes past this point.
Yeah. He's really cool.
Well, he's
really cool.
always like, what are you doing? Like, he'll say something very funny in that tone, which makes it even more funny.
It feels Russian-y. It feels like the same, like kind of like dry humor.
Yeah. Why did I mention him?
So you said,
this is
New York.
This has got to stop.
Oh, because, so he's never been to the U.S., so he's a water polo player, has been all over the world, never in the U.S. Oh. And he hasn't really traveled more than 4 days because he didn't get any time off with the national team. So I manipulated him into giving up the national team so we can go on a very long honeymoon. Let's go to America. Let's go everywhere. So we started with Miami. I took him to campus. It was everything, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And then he was obsessed with going to L.A. And I said, okay, let's do L.A. second stop. So we went to L.A. And it was terrible, especially after Miami. And my this has got to stop is I'm going to make it general first, and then I'm going to make it more specific.
Great.
L.A. has to stop. People have to stop moving there.
I agree with that.
What the fuck is that about?
We have a dear friend who's moving there soon.
I'm so fucking pissed.
What is that about? First of all, there's nothing to do in LA. nothing. You have to drive everywhere. You can't walk anywhere. Even if you drive to a place, you still can't walk around. It's like, oh, let's go to Venice. Walk for a block and then it's done. So you're just driving to a place.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not going to hang out at all these people's houses because they're just like, oh, I appreciate you, which is my real, this has got to stop. I appreciate you. What the fuck is that all about?
Okay.
Do you guys say that in New York? Or is it just an LA thing?
I can't remember the last time I said I appreciate you because I don't appreciate you.
I think Christian Finnegan had the same complaint, old episode, because he hated the idea like you can appreciate an act, but appreciating me feels so weird. It almost feels belittling to your existence that it could be summed up so easily as that. Like, oh, you appreciate that I exist?
Yeah. Like,
it's not even that. The problem is much bigger. The problem is that people okay. This is the real thing that I want to talk about. Why is everybody feeling like they have to tell people the nice things about them all the time?
Yeah.
Because people are getting very, offended by everything.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
So now we have to voice how happy, excited, good we feel about being with the other person or around the other person. In LA, it's 10 times worse because everybody is pretending they're like a hippie, that they just have a lot of money and they don't want to work all day. So what they do is hang out and like go to the Burn. I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to the Burn. You go to Burn? I walked into a fucking store the other day in LA and it had like weird feathery shit. And she said, are you going to the Burn? No, I'm not going to the fucking Burn.
What's the
What's
bird?
the burn?
Burning Man.
Oh, Burning Man.
Burning Man.
Yeah.
And I said, no. And then
Connie, to be fair, you look like you're about to go to the Burn.
I do not look like I'm about to go to the Burn. Why? Because I'm wearing tie-dye?
I think that's part of the
I got this
equation.
from a fucking tourist shop in Miami because I wanted shorts. I'm not a tie-dye person.
I just understand if I saw you, I'd say, oh, yeah, she's going to the Burn.
I'm wearing a fucking Balenciaga bag. I'm not going to the Burn.
Balenciaga. Do you know what that is?
Balenciaga? Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So
Oh,
it feels like LA's a lot like Greece. It feels like it's the way you describe Greece.
No,
Greece, you can
no.
walk. It's a real city.
But I'm saying like in terms of people like being lazy and just like wanting to be like,
Oh, wait, why are people pretending to be so nice? This is my problem. I appreciate you. So, I just met someone. I was hanging out with Megan Kinney.
uh-huh.
Do you understand?
Yeah, Bruce Leckier got her into school too.
She's a very hot girl.
Okay.
One of my best friends.
Great.
She's like a yogi, like will
No, I thought she went by,
cartwheel around.
what's the name that she goes by?
Kinney?
No, doesn't she go by?
Penny Magnolia Rising. That was a long time
Yes.
ago.
What is her name? I'm sorry.
Well, one day I said, "Oh, what's she up to?" And her Instagram, or I guess her name
She
had
doesn't
changed
have
to
that anymore.
Penny Magnolia Rising.
That makes sense. I appreciate that name.
Please don't say that around me. It really bothers me. So basically, she's an actual like hippie person.
Yeah.
And she's not poor. That's why she can be a hippie, I feel like. But because being a hippie by choice, you have to have a lot of money to do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Totally.
Like choosing to walk around, like not eat leaves.
It's
so
a
that-
privilege, for sure.
Yeah.
like for the lifestyle. Fuck that. Nobody wants to be walking around like a hippie smelling because they refuse to wear deodorant because they think it's like
But is this her? Is this her that you're
no,
talking
this is
about?
her friends. So what I'm trying to say is that
Everyone
I
of
went,
her friends, not her.
No,
everyone
because
she associates
she is
with.
actually like that. People in LA want to be like that.
I
Oh,
see.
I see.
I
You
see.
know,
She's the
Megan
real.
is actually like that. She's actually gonna help the person on the street. She's actually
Sure.
hippie. She actually doesn't give a shit about like expensive things.
Just for context, she is an astounding dancer. Her and her sister were both on So You Think You Can Dance.
Oh, wow.
Astounding dancer.
Very good. And she's like a little fairy walking around, but all her friends are like these, man, you know. Yeah. We went to this place called Space Barn. I thought it was a bar the first night we were there, and it was just like this big space. probably.
Well, they did warn you up top.
I thought it was a fucking bar. Let's go to Space Barn tonight. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, we'll go to Space Barn. Mario, first night in LA. Let's go to Space Barn. Sounds good. Sounds like a good time. So then we drive up to the street, and it's just this huge house with a little huge barn in the back. Probably costs $10,000 to rent a month. But these people inside are like, I don't care about money. You're paying for the Space Barn, right?
Yeah.
This is what bothers me. So we go inside, and everybody's like, has dreadlocks and like isn't wearing shoes and like armpits smell and like ripped clothes and all this shit that I fucking hate. Buy a new shirt. Why do you have to wear that shirt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just for the lifestyle.
Sure.
So we go into the Space Barn, and this guy, Mario doesn't speak a lot of English. This guy, as we're trying to leave, goes, Venice, man. Venice has a big history, and starts telling him about the surfers, that when you surf, you're closest to the ground because when the wave turns around and the sun hits through it, it's like
surf
seeing
culture.
The whole surf culture
and
boy. Venice culture, and how it's so important because people brought the weed, and the weed brings people together, and blah, blah, blah. We leave. He talks to us for 40 minutes. Mario just goes, yes, very nice experience. That's all he's saying. We leave. Megan goes, he's not from Venice. He's from D.C.
Oh, boy.
Talking to us about, and then he goes, I really appreciate you. You just met me, motherfucker. What do you appreciate me about? You don't know me. I hate you. I met you just now, and I hate you.
Yeah.
Why do you appreciate me? I don't appreciate you being a fucking fake hippie. What is this shit about?
It's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop.
No, you don't understand. Hold on. Give me one more second. So then I'm talking about I appreciate you. And I'm telling my new friends from Megan's friends. And this fucking waiter comes over. And he goes, here's the check. I appreciate you.
Oh, boy. That was like the line of the vacation. I appreciate you.
Why did he say that? Why did he say that? I said, can we hurry with the check because we have a plane to catch? And then when he brought so I said something mean to him, and then he brings the check and says, I appreciate you.
I'll tell you why he said it. To be snide. That's like a snide little thing. He caught your like your impatience about bringing the check. And so he was like, I'm going to kill this bitch with kindness. And he was like, I appreciate you.
It's a bless your heart.
Yeah, it's a bless your heart. He was trying to be condescending.
Do you think?
He
gave a shot.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't think he was trying to be condescending. I think he was just, I appreciate
I feel like you would have appreciated it if it was condescending. But you didn't like that he was being genuine.
Exactly.
You didn't like the genuineness of it.
If it was, I appreciate you, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I understand. I think saying nice. I understand how I appreciate you. It feels like, I think what's so smelly about it is that it's like trying to get closer undeservedly. To be like, I appreciate you. It's like, well, we're not close enough for you to say that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. And if I was really close with someone, I'd say I love you. I don't think I appreciate you would be like, so it's a weird like foreign, not quite human term, asking for more than you're deserving.
It's the kind of thing that you say to somebody that you had a nice conversation with, but you never plan on seeing again.
Yeah, it's like you're letting them down. Like
all right, this was a nice moment between the two of us.
I appreciate you, but this was enough.
Yeah.
If it's
gross.
a right moment between you guys, you're going to see that person again. You're going to want to have a conversation. It's better to say, I really like this having this conversation with you. Let's hang out tomorrow. Not, oh, wow, I appreciate you. Megan has a studio in her house. This guy with long hair down to his fucking butthole comes in.
That's right where he cuts it, right there to the butthole.
Producer. I guess he probably is a producer. I don't know why I did that. Because I hate everyone in LA.
Everyone but your best friend.
And I have friends in LA who are not like that, but I hung out with her a lot and her weird ass hippie friends. I told her I was going to talk about this so I don't feel bad about it. So we're in the studio and he's like,
wait, did Megan hate me too from Miami days?
She said, I have a very special relationship with you.
Oh, that you do?
Yeah.
I thought you said that she did. I was like, I never knew.
That was her answer.
No one liked you in college, Gianmarco. I'm sorry.
I never said an ill word about Megan. There's definitely one of those things I'm gonna be like,
And then you're going to think about it tonight.
Be like,
oh, yeah.
Go on everyone's Instagram and try and like message them about it.
hey, I meant to tell you, you were so good sophomore year in the lip sync exercise for Bruce LeCure's class. Sorry, I never told you. You're really
She
talented.
wasn't in your class.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I should have showered more compliments. One of the people in your grade liked me. He wore a shirt with all these pictures of my face on it once as like a thank you for this senior advisor thing.
Who?
I
Baldwin?
don't remember his name. Baldwin likes me. What did Baldwin say about me?
Nothing.
What did he say about me?
Nothing. He didn't say anything about you.
Well, you're not
He
going to the
likes you.
wedding. Isn't he getting married?
He's getting married on Saturday.
If I'd be pretty to be honest, I would not go to that wedding.
I think people appreciate you, Gianmarco.
You bitch. All right, let's go to our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
My blessing is all the friends I made in college.
Just in case they're listening.
Do you have a blessing for us, Douglas?
Yes, Novocaine. I recently sliced my
What is
thumb.
Novocaine?
Novocaine is a anesthetic that they stick when you go to the dentist to numb you, to numb your thing. So I sliced open my thumb and I had to go to the emergency room and get stitches, and it turned something that's so painful into something that I was like watching. You know, he shot me with Novocaine, and that was terrible and painful. But then, like, all of a sudden your thumb goes numb and I'm watching him sew up my thumb. And you're thinking about, first of all, Novocaine was discovered from snake poison. Somebody got bit by a snake and was like, oh, interesting. Before it kills you, it numbs that area.
How did he have time to actually write this down?
Exactly. Like who figured that out? And now this guy can literally put a needle through my thumb and sew me up, and I can watch and be like, wow, that's really great, and not feel a thing. That's pretty amazing.
Did you Google that?
I sure did. I Googled a bunch of things before I came here, you know.
You sliced it cooking?
Oh, no, cleaning my my knife, a very sharp knife. I was, you clean it with a sponge, and I went, swoop,
I don't know how you did that.
cut
I don't know how you
open.
did that, and I've never done that. You're like,
It just happens.
oh
Was
my
it during
God.
that conversation of, I don't think you're excited enough about the
Oh,
wedding?
no. But it was brutal. It was like you immediately know, like, okay, it's 11:30 at night. Grab a book, grab some water. We're gonna be in the emergency room till 3 a.m. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
That bad?
Yeah, it was pretty
What
bad.
day was this? When you?
This was 2 or 3 weeks ago. It had to be 3 weeks ago because I got the stitches out after 2 weeks. But like,
Text these things to me.
it was
This is the stuff you
brutal.
text?
Just like I knew immediately. Like,
I don't need some
A
weird
band-
TikTok that you found. I want to know about you slicing your thumb open.
I love sending you weird TikToks. Those are my
I always
favorite.
watch them. Well, I'm glad your thumb's. Can I see the scars? Is it there?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see.
Oh my God.
Well, it's healing.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. He really gasped.
Russell would throw up if he saw that. My blessing. I just saw my sister, who I don't see a lot, who went to University of Miami.
Oh,
She did?
She did.
Dancer.
No. Ariana.
oh, the different. The
Yeah,
other
my
one.
dad on my dad's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dancers in LA. So yeah, she went to University of Miami and like lived like. She's like, here's a video of Snoop Dogg passing me a joint, and I'm like, oh, okay, we live different.
Oh,
I went to
there
the
you
beach 3 times, a football game once, and I was in practice studios. But I told her about a bit. It's like my dad had heart surgery last year, and she's part of this chunk that I've been working on, and I've never run it by her. Like, hey, is this cool? And she was like, totally fine. And overall, my whole family, and thank God, because this is just how I write. No one in my whole family has really ever given me shit.
Oh.
Or ever had a problem. My mom had one problem. I used her maiden name in a hand job joke, and she thought I was calling her like a slut in high school, which that's her own thing, because I wasn't. Like, I was like, giving a hand job in high school to me is not like slutty behavior.
Yeah.
But other than that, my family has never. I think for some of them it's because they don't care, and that's not good. But then others, like, they're just cool with it. And I hear people, especially siblings. Maria Bamford talked about, she doesn't talk about her sister, and Marco's sister, like, please stop talking about me.
Wow.
And my siblings have never said, you're going to share that I was mad that our dad had his new girlfriend in the will? And that gives me room to really create for my life, and I'm very thankful for that.
I'm very surprised by
great.
that.
I think
Surprised
some
that they're not
people,
mad?
Yeah, because he talks shit about them all the time.
and the jokes are really good.
That's
They're really
thing.
good
That's
jokes.
so
Reason.
well crafted jokes.
You know, if Shakespeare made, if his sister's name was Gertrude, are you going to get mad that you're in one of the greatest works of theater of all time? No. Do you have a blessing?
I guess my friends from college, because I can do this tour of America because I'm staying at their houses and like hanging out with them, and they're showing me around. I haven't been here in 4 years, so I don't remember places. Doing this podcast, that was cool. I don't know if this is going to be a good episode.
What are you talking about? This is a great episode.
Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I just said that to freak you out.
No, this was listen, we have had worse episodes.
Which
Sure.
one?
No, we're not going to say.
No, there's been one or two times where I like talked a little too much shit about like a previous episode and we cut it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Russell and my wonderful producer, Paige Asachica, are both the people who go like, hey,
Maybe we shouldn't say this.
yeah, as we know, I'm not always nice or likable.
Yeah.
We found out today. I mean, you did. I knew.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug? You want to plug your Instagram? Get famous in America so you can come here, plug your things.
Fuck yeah. Follow me on Instagram, Konnie Metaxa.
Very nice, very nice.
That's it.
Douglas, anything you want to plug? This episode is coming out August 30th.
Great. Yeah. Well, we have, because Gianmarco is in Uncle Function. I don't know if the viewers and listeners know this. Gianmarco and I.
It every episode.
No.
does.
He does. Okay. Gianmarco and I will be at the Asylum Theater September 13th, Tuesday, 7:30, and also then.
As a matter of fact,
And
I
then-
just
and then
turned
in
down.
LA
I just turned down a gig
And then
on September 13th, and I said no, and it was an
No
exciting
way.
gig. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. That's amazing. And then we'll be because you guys have been saying the wrong date. It's September 20th.
You guys, you mean Russell's been
saying the wrong date. It's September 20th in LA at Dynasty Typewriter.
LA.
We are doing a big show. Come on out. Gianmarco will be there. He'll probably be almost naked for one of the sketches.
Yeah.
So come on out and see us.
Do you think it's funnier if I let the pubes grow and it's like really like billowing out of that thong?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I do.
Okay, good, because that's why I haven't shaved in 10 years. For me, oh my God, I
what do
was
you
so
got?
invested in that. This is coming out the 30th, so I'm in New York for 2 weekends in a row, which stresses me out. But I will be at Richmond, Virginia, at Sandman Comedy Club, September 15th through 17th. Then after Uncle Function, I will be headlining the Hollywood Improv, September 21st. And I'm going to be on I don't know if I can announce that. Then I'll be at Vermont Comedy Club, September 29th for a one-nighter. And then Tova and I are judging a comedy competition the next day.
Wow.
That's what it took to get a headlining gig at Vermont Comedy Club, was my girlfriend. There was a booker who said, will you do this gig? Tova can host it, and I will pay her feature pay.
Wow.
And I knew better than to ask Tova.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how good she did for that.
She did
that
really
gig.
good. She did really good.
And thank you for being here. Tova really wants to go to Greece, and I don't know if we're close enough for me to say. I think we'd be close enough to have a meal, but I want to be like.
You can stay at my house.
Great, we got it on the record. That's what I was going for. Tova,
You don't
hear
think
that?
we're close? I'm your only
No,
friend
no.
from college.
Press the button. That's the end.
This is
Press
the
the button.
downside.